Hi, Sharada. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Shireen.
It's so lovely to have you here again. It's been a while since you were on the podcast. We've done some Instagram lives, and I still want to ask you again, maybe you have a new daily routine or meditation or ritual that you do that is great for you right now that you want to share.
A daily routine. Yes, I mean, one that I really, really love. I think last time I shared about the pujas and rituals that I do, and I still do them, and it's one of my favorite rituals. But another one is also self-care ritual. So, breast massage, belly massage, and just connecting to my womb daily is part of my sadhanas, my spiritual practices, so that I can just feel myself more and be kinder and loving and invoke also the joy and pleasure in my body on a daily basis.
So
Hmm.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love that, like having a self-care ritual. And if you do the massages, is it more intuitive or do you have a specific practice with oils or?
Um, s- it's a mixture, so it's based on a lot based on the Taoist tradition. I connect very deeply to the Taoist breast massages and the belly massage from the like Chinai Sang. There's a special, you maybe know the different points. No, you as a traditional Chinese medicine, you know better than I do all the different organs that are connected to different points. So I don't do the full program every day because the full program takes a few hours, but just kind of the activating and the cleansing, uh, helping my intestine to really move also whatever needs to be moved energetically and physically, and then connecting to my womb also, just to be in touch with her every day. So, and then intuitively, like after kind of the more traditional approach, and then I just see what do I need today, like is there anything special that
Mm.
my body requires today, and then it's more intuitive. Yeah, so it's a mixture. Mhm.
Mm. Thank you for sharing. That sounds beautiful. And I'm so happy to have you here. Today we will talk about the Navaratri festival that is coming up. And maybe you want to start by introducing yourself to those that haven't listened to our previous podcast together, just so they get a feeling to what you're doing and yeah, your journey here.
Mm. So yeah, my name is Sharada, and I'm originally from Switzerland and the Philippines. I live in Asia since 18 years. Actually, first I was living in South America and then in Asia, in India and Bali. So Bali has been my home now for 13 years. And all these almost 2 decades now, I've been on a healing journey. I've had a desire since I can remember to gain freedom in life, even though back then I didn't really know what that meant, like freedom. But I had always a deep, deep quest for truth in my life. It was all about truth. I want truth, and that brought me to live abroad, away from Europe, and and go on that healing journey. And I had a very strong experience when I was 18 years old. I had Western medicine, they call it a psychosis. In Eastern traditional philosophy, they would call it a spiritual awakening. And for me, it was definitely a deep wake up, an awareness that I had to take care of my unresolved issues. Like an 18-year-old girl having an experience like that, I knew that um, there is more to life than what I learned growing up in Switzerland. And coming to India, where that experience happened, led me really to on this healing journey, because it was not an integrated experience. It was a very un, unintegrated experience, where it was very difficult for me then to relate to the world, and so I didn't follow the Western medicine, where their prescription was to take medicine and to basically be in therapy for the rest of my life, and needing to be very careful. And I had a knowing in my heart that I can heal myself in a natural, holistic way. And that's what brought me to South America for 5 years, and being exposed to the more shamanic tradition. And there I didn't really find answers to my experiences. I found more experiences, like more connection to Mother Earth, more compassion for my experience that I had when I was 18 years old. I got an integration of that experience, but it wasn't answers per se. Like, what is the nature of experiences? It was just more experiences. So that brought me back to India and really searching for a teacher that could really answer my questions for life and the purpose of life and truth, and to those experiences that I've had. And then in India, I didn't really find a teacher either. I did find Indian classical dance, which I pursued then for very intensively, which is Odissi dance, which helped me to integrate all these experiences that I've had, but it still didn't give me really answers to my problem. And that brought me to Bali in a nutshell. And that's where I then finally found my teacher. And the teacher, what I mean when I say a teacher here, it comes to a teacher of truth. A teacher, according to the Vedic tradition, is a teacher when one has the answers to the fundamental questions of life. And according to Vedic tradition, that is Vedanta. And the Vedanta teachings is a whole methodology, a system that unfolds the reality of one's own being and this whole universe. And it deals with these fundamental questions of what are we, who are we, what is the universe, what is God, and it answers all these questions. And when I found my teacher, that's where it really resolved, and it wasn't about the experiences anymore. It was really to discover the nature of every experience. And I stayed there I undertook these studies for the last 13 years, and then went to India studying with his teacher and really immersing myself into the Vedic tradition and along with the practices. And so that has been really my deep passion. And with that, I discovered that I had still a lot of healing to be done, because one part is the teachings, gaining the knowledge, and the other part is the integration of what you're learning so that you can have an embodied lived experience of that as well. And so that brought me to a deep embodiment that was needed. And that's what brought me then to the whole women's work, which I'm very passionate about, because the women's work is just such a gentle and deep and powerful healing, and very integrative with the teachings of Vedanta. So this kind of in a nutshell, this is my background, and that's what I'm passionate about, and what I love to share with others that also are longing for truth in their life and integration of knowledge, not just being it an intellectual study, but really a way of living.
Wow. Yeah, that is a big journey in your life, and you are really embodying the devotion and like integration of all of life. So I think that's beautiful and very inspirational. And what you've created with your organization, or your co-creating with women in Be Woman project, it's so beautiful. And maybe you want to share also that work. So you have really dedicated yourself to helping women in this life in different ways. And I think that is a big gift to so many. And that's how you also created this Navaratri festival, through co-creating with different beautiful beings. And maybe you want to share a little bit about that as well.
Yes. So the Be Woman project has come to life in around 2017, and it was really born from a place in my life where I was in a big transformation because I got divorced with my husband from my husband, and the need for having a community and women around me that could support me and hold me as well during that time. And what I found in women's circle was just so magical. As you know, it is when it's authentic and real, then it is beautiful. It's just unfathomable. It's just so beautiful, so healing on the core level to be held by women and nurtured, and that we nurture each other and we are there for each other. And of course it helped me so much to heal a lot of jealousy and a lot of my mother wounds that have been there for many years. And the Vedic teachings have been there all the way through for so many years, holding the foundation, and then having the container also, like having a structure to give form to the truth. Because one thing is the knowledge, and then how can I give form to what the knowledge is, which is love. And so then the formful way of love is the embodiment in a women's circle, or is the care that we can express to each other and be there for each other and do rituals together and all the different things we can do. And from that container, kind of the whole Be Woman project came about, where I wanted that all women in this whole universe can experience women's circles. And so I just started and went around and held many women's circles all around the world. And then women asked me if I could offer women's circle trainings, because they also wanted to lead other women. And I'd love to share what I know. It's my greatest joy. And then we started to offer women's circle training courses. And then from there, just slowly was growing, and many women joined from different places of the world. And then one day my students asked me, so how did you come to all of this, and how has your connection been to the goddess? And I just started to tell them my story, how I started to dance Indian classical dance, and that was kind of my first in this life connection to the goddess, and embracing the goddess and dancing for the goddess, as the goddess, to the goddess. And then I heard about this festival, Navaratri. I was like, what is Navaratri? Yeah, Navaratri. Nava means 9, Ratri, nights. And so it's the 9 nights of the goddess. I like, oh my God, 9 nights of the goddess. It's just like, so it's just the word, the name itself mesmerized me. And then I saw how they in India for 9 days celebrate the goddess for 9 nights, every single night, like months before preparation starts and the temples get decorated, and everyone is looking forward to the 9 nights of the goddess. As in India, there are so many festivals all around the year, like Shivaratri and Ganesha Chaturthi, and so everyone gets celebrated, and of course the goddess gets celebrated. So having witnessed this celebration where the goddess is just worshipped and adored and praised, and yeah, it was magical. And then I decided to also do my own Navaratri when I was living in Bali with my friend, and we set up an altar and we did our own sadhana, our own spiritual practice for 9 nights, chanting to the goddess every night and doing ritual to the goddess. And that was maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. And then I had this wish in my heart that one day that all of this can be shared. And I just shared this story with them, with my students. That was last year actually. And they like, we want to do Navaratri as well. And then they asked me, can we do Navaratri together again? I'm like, yes, of course we can do Navaratri again. And then kind of within a week, we set up this whole festival last year. I've asked all my friends if they would want to join offering a festival online. It was also during big COVID time, and everyone was in need of love and care and prayers. And then most of my friends, girlfriends, they said, yes, we would love to join. And then it was a huge celebration last year, Navaratri, around this time as well. And we decided to do it again. So we're so excited to offer this 9 nights of the Goddess Festival again, and it's actually happening already very soon, October 7th, for 9 nights. And again, we invited many different amazing women leaders, role models, teachers from like Uma Dinsmore-Turley, the author of Yoni Shakti, and Claire Dubois, the founder of Three Sisters, and Bex Tyrer and Emily Kuser, Beta Lisboa, just many, Megan Curry, many amazing, inspiring women that are just doing so great work, really. And we're all coming together and offering our love, our passion. And we from the Women Project, we have, again, a daily sadhana. Like a sadhana means a spiritual practice, a practice that you do for a certain time with a very clear intention that we are going to set at the beginning of the festival. Like, what do I want to overcome? What do I want to let go? What do I want to invoke into my life? And creating a deep relationship to the goddess, so that I know that I'm very powerful, that I have really all that I want is really already here, right? It's right here at my hands, but we gotta know how to access it. And in this festival, we're really accessing that power that is there in all of us, and we're doing it together. So because it's just so much more fun to do it together.
Oh, so lovely. What a lovely teachers that you've got. And yeah, I've joined your like online sessions before, and it's so magical. And I think that it's such an important thing that also Be Woman Project has done for people that have, like, throughout this year, it feels like we, even if we're in circle online, it feels like everyone is there and supporting each other, and you see everyone that's there, which is so beautiful. And yeah, this Navaratri will be so interesting. Maybe you can share a little bit, like, how, a little bit about the stories around it and what it is like practically that you do throughout these days, because people can sign up for free, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you can sign up for free and you're going to get a gift. And we do welcome donations, because we're going to give the donations to Bhumi Sehat, which is a natural birthing clinic in Bali. And also we are supporting the Three Sisters and also the guest speakers and teachers with that. But otherwise, we really want that everyone can participate in this festival. So the story behind really is the heart of Navaratri is the battle, basically the battle between Dharma and Adharma. So Dharma and Adharma, Dharma is a Sanskrit term, and it refers to that which is universally aligned. So in the Vedic tradition, and in actually all Earth cultures tradition, there are values. They don't belong to any tradition. There are certain values that are universal. They belong to all times. They belong to all people at all times. So a universal value is a value, for example, like the value of causing least hurt, least harm. That's one of the values in Sanskrit called ahimsa. So I have a choice as a human being every single day that I have to make. Like every day we are faced with choices to make every single day. And I do not have really any say over the result, but I do have a say over the action I can do, I need not do, or I can do differently. That's basically my choice. I can do, I need not do, or I can do differently. And so I'm faced every day with all these decisions to be made. And so how do I know which decision to make? Like, what is the right thing to do? And so what can we base our decision on? Well, either it's based on our likes or dislikes, on our desires, basically. We make decisions or we choose based on what we want. That's one way to go about it. Or or which it also goes into that direction. I make a decision based on my values in life, based on dharma, based on what is going to cause least harm in this situation. And sometimes there's no question. Like we can think that just drinking a glass of water, there's no harm in it. That's true. But then when it comes to food, for example, there we do there is a greater effect or extent behind it. And so when it comes to food, like the choice to eat meat or not meat, that's a very big decision to be made. So, and that decision is personal, of course. And we are not here really to lecture anyone, or that's never the purpose when we talk about these values, because the value has to be your value so that it really is valuable. You have to discover the value of the value. And then you have to see, what do you lose and what do you gain? And here, when we celebrate now Navaratri, we are praising Dharma. So basically, we're praising those values that are most in harmony with the universal laws of this creation. And so, according to Veda, for example, according to the Vedic tradition, the least harm when it comes to food, because I've spoken now about the example of food, is to choosing not to eat meat in most situations. So it's not black and white. Like I could go, this is can be a very long discussion. If somebody is sick, right? If one has deficiency of iron, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to go into that right now, but just in general, if I have choices, according to Veda, the least harm it is to not eat meat, because the meat, by the law of nature, every animal runs away from danger. It does not want to get killed. It's just the universal law. And so if I have a choice to eat the pumpkin or to eat the rabbit, I choose because the rabbit runs away and the pumpkin doesn't. So my choice could be, if that is my value to cause least harm, choosing to eat the pumpkin. And this is a very strong example, but it's a basic example because it's going to extend to all other actions in life as well. I'm always confronted with making choices. And so the Veda says, if you as a human being, you truly want to be happy in life, you got to make choices that are according to universal values, because we're all interconnected, we're all mutually dependent on each other. Life lives on life. And we're not here really, we haven't come here as consumer, which we are nowadays, but actually we all have come as contributor. We're all here to contribute to each other. And really what it would be natural to us is to create harmony, to bring harmony, to stay within the balance, to create a sacred symbiosis, because nature is always in symbiosis with each other. But because of ignorance and many other reasons, nowadays we are more consumer and we don't care so much anymore what happens to others, because we think that the other is not me, because we feel separated and we think this is different from me, so what do I care about you? You're you, I am me. But the fact is actually that we are one. You and I, we're not separate from each other. The truth really is that we are one and the same being. And so if we really are one and the same being, then, and that's something that I believe in. Often we believe in it until we know that, because a belief, then you're still doubtful. So you want that the belief eventually turns into knowledge. And when you know, then you know, like, you know. So if I as a human being believe in that or even know that, then I cannot but stay within universal values, because I know that anytime I go against one of the universal values, I'm violating, I violate the natural laws of creation. And if I violate, who is going to get hurt is myself. Like I will always lose at the end. I might not see it immediately. People around me might not see it immediately, but in the long run, I will get hurt. If I cause hurt, it will come back to me. That's the law of karma. And so this festival is a remembrance of the universal laws, of which we are all part of. And it's the battle between, because that battle is not really outside happening. It seems like it's outside happening, but where is the battle happening? Inside here, right? It's like, I know this is not good for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. No, but you shouldn't do it, because if you do it, then this is going to happen. Yeah, I know it's going to happen, but it's okay. I can still do it. Like it's this like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, going on all the time. Like we have like the little inner friend inside, but we also have the inner critic inside, and it's like, and so so it's that embracing of our little demons. We're gonna, during these 9 nights, you embrace your shadows, you embrace what you've been in denial, you're gonna embrace and spend time with all the things you didn't want to look at because you didn't have time, because we're busy, we have to work, we have to take care of this and to take care of that, and we have to go out, and we have so many obligations and so much pressure. And here we're making actually a conscious decision. Maybe it's not so conscious for some of us. Maybe we're just hearing about this great women's festival and my friend is going to go and I'm also just going to go and have a look. That's what happens for many people. We hear of something, somebody says this is great, and then we just go and check it out. But then eventually you find yourself in this and you realize, oh my God, what is this? And and that and that's amazing, because sometimes it has to be like that. Sometimes you don't always want to know everything, otherwise you wouldn't maybe join if you know all that is going to happen. So I'm not here to scare any one of you, but what it is, it's really, it can sometimes look like that. All these festivals and gatherings and retreats, it's just all celebration and it's all just pink and blue and high vibe and ecstasy. But and that part, yes, is also there, but there's also another part, which is the being a real person, authentic, raw, naked, not literally, but in the heart, being true to oneself, where I show my real face. I'm gonna look at the things I haven't wanted or haven't had the possibility to look at, like my pains, my hurts, my judgments, where I have been compromising certain values in order to get a certain thing, but realizing actually if I compromise this, I will not be really able to enjoy the outcome of it. So is it really worth? So it's a time to really examine one's life, one's way of being, examine one's patterns, one's habits, and see, do they still serve me? Is this really still how I want to live my life? Or am I here now caught in a pattern that is not really serving me any longer? I don't want to live my life like that. Out of fear, I just stayed in this same life, and out of fear, I just stayed in this relationship. Out of fear, I just do this over and over and over again because I don't know anything else. And is this what I want? And if it's what I want, yes, perfect. But maybe I want more of life. Maybe I want to change my habits. Maybe I want to say yes to something that I haven't dared to say yes to. And here you have the chance to get support, to be mirrored, to have the chance to face and process the pain, and have the support in order to do certain changes that are maybe necessary and that you would want to do, so that you can live a happier, more fulfilled life. Because that's ultimately what we all want, is to be happy. All we want is to be happy. And so as long as I compromise universal values, I'm never going to be really happy. It will always be mediocre. It will always be a temporary happiness that is, it's okay. You can live on that and you can survive on that, but are we here to survive? I don't think so. Like, we don't have to be in survival mode anymore. We have everything and much, much more. But most 99% of people that do have food, clothes, and shelter are still in survival mode every single day. Like, how I'm gonna make my ends meet, and how I'm gonna pay this and that, and it all has worked out until now, but we still don't trust that it's gonna work out. We're still always in this survival mode. And so here it is a possibility to get out of survival mode and come into thriving and trusting, praying, and use resources where I don't have to abuse Mother Nature and other people, where I can use power in a honoring, kind way. Power, we don't have to be afraid of power. Many people are afraid of power because power has been abused. But when power is understood and we have reverence for it, then it can be used in so many amazing ways. We can then create so many beautiful projects and empower each other instead of putting each other down and competing and hating each other and killing each other. We can live together and be big together and celebrate each other. And so here we're celebrating each other when we're vulnerable, when we can be honest and authentic, and yeah, we call it like being sacred mirrors to each other. True sacred mirrors where I'm acceptable and lovable exactly as I am. So, and so this is really the Navaratri, these 9 nights, 9 days is this battle between Dharma and Adharma. So Adharma is when we go against these universal values, and Dharma is when I am within these universal values. And so these 9 days is where the demon Mahishasura, he gets killed by the goddess, by Durga. So Durga is in a battle with Mahishasura for 9 days, 9 nights, 9 days. It's a long, long, long fight. But then at the end, she wins. She wins, the goddess wins. And so it's like us in life, like sometimes we're struggling and it seems so hard and we feel we're never going to get out of it and we're losing everything. But at the end, if we stay within our values and pray and gain knowledge, we will overcome these difficulties.
What a great insight to this. And yeah, it's so magical when you speak and talk about this. And I feel like this is a festival that anyone could join and get so much from it. And like you said, it's also exciting to not know exactly what's coming up, but we know that there will be some kind of daily practices and different. Is there anything in particular each day that will be included in the festival that people can expect, and what's the format?
Yeah, so the format is we have almost 4 classes per day, actually. So there's one morning, 7 a.m. No, excuse me. There's only one. It's usually 3. So we have usually a morning, a lunchtime. No, it is 4. It's 4. It's the morning, the lunch, the afternoon, and the evening activities. So you have actually basically 4 classes that you can join. And there's one which is a regular, which is every day at 12. And I'm speaking now about European CET, so CET time. At 12, I will be there every day and hold a sadhana with the support of my team. And that is inquiry with the help based on the Vedic tradition and the Dharma, the universal values. And there we're going to have a ritual, like a traditional 5-step puja that we're doing every day. Also a japa, a repetition of a mantra that we will be initiated every day. And then there will be always something new every day, something specific according to the theme of the day, because there are different themes that we're following every day. But then there are the guest speakers and guest teachers, which they are going to offer their particular sharing, whatever that is. It is from yoga nidra to sacred sexuality to money empowerment, music, voice activation, earth wisdom, Vedic teachings. So then there's Ayurveda, so many different topics that are going to be covered by the guest teachers and speakers. And we also have a special panel actually led by Uma Dinsmore-Tooley about the eradication, the abuse of women in yoga, which is a big topic now. Like we're seeing more and more people coming out how they have been abused in the yoga tradition, also in the Tantra tradition, which is very sad. And this is a great movement that she started to bring awareness, just to not to scare people, but to bring awareness that it's very important to inquire what we follow and not just blindly believe anything that is out there, and inquire into the background of schools and teachers. So that's also a panel that we're going to hold just to bring awareness.
Oh, that's so good. so much to learn from and to take part of. And can you remind us of the dates and how to sign up? I will also have the link in the show notes for everyone who wants to sign up.
Yeah, so the dates are from October 7th to October 15th. And you can sign up with the link that Heroine is putting there. You're going to get a gift and an email, a welcome letter, and then you're going to get emails every day as we start the festival. You're going to get then also the schedule, of course, and then the emails with the daily program. And there's also a special discount right now for our 3-month course, a women's facilitator training that we're going to launch after the Navaratri Festival, a 3-month online course. It's called the Heroine's Journey. So inspired by Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey. But here's the heroine's journey, where you are really living and creating your own myth and learning how to rewrite your story and learn how to hold space for yourself and for others as well.
That's beautiful. And that's also on the website that will be linked. And you have an amazing Instagram page that we can link to. So you have great teachings there, and you have your own also, Sharada's own Instagram. I can link to that for like wisdom and sharings. And I'm so excited for this. It's going to be a great time to work with these type of, I think it's, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, as we're going a little bit inwards, it's nice to come into this season that we're coming into with this ease and also a releasing and transformational process. So I highly recommend everyone to check this out. And if you have any questions, I'm sure you can connect with Sharada or anyone in the Be Woman team as well. And the website is, you have is it bewomanproject.com?
.info.
.info, yeah. So everything is in the show notes, so nothing that needs to be. Do you have anything else you want to share right now for us?
Just join. Come and join, try it out, the festival. And if you can't make it live, you can then watch the recordings. And yes, so that there's an all access pass. If you give a donation, then you can watch the recordings for 9 days. And you can also buy the all access pass for 97 and get all the recordings also from last year's festival as well, plus them from this year, and extra bonuses that come along with it. And yes, I'm just grateful that I can be here with you and that I can share and spread the word, and I feel really honored.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you and everything that you and your team are doing. It's been lovely as usual to talk to you, and I'm sure we will talk soon again. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Heroine. All the best. Thank you, everyone.